Oh, well, we were supposed to lead off the show with the whole chief of staff thing. Did you get to catch that?
Oh, I mean, yeah, from what I gathered, it's not, I mean, it's better than it could be, I guess, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's at a certain point, it's like you know, they, you have the, um, I don't know, it's calling me. You have, like the moral, like if you're willing to do, like if you're willing to do any like that style thing, you're willing to do anything. They're all just going to execute the plan at that point. They're all
Well,
just going to.
well, let's see who this guy is first. Gonna pull this up here. All right. So President-elect Joe Biden is said to have chosen Ron Klain as his chief of staff. Yeah, I didn't know anything about this guy going in, but Mondaire Jones actually had this comment out here. Mondaire Jones, one of the newly elected progressive members of Congress, that's going to be coming into the upcoming. Well, I guess the whole adding to the squad bit. And so he's a progressive. He's a progressive guy, and he seemed pretty positive about this appointment. Um, so he says Ron knows that the progressive movement has strengthened the Democratic Party and understands the importance of a judiciary that protects our most valuable communities. Congrats, Ronald Klein. Look forward to working with you. And see, did you saw that video that Jank made earlier too, right?
Why did he reference judiciary?
I'm not sure, but
That's a weird thing to reference.
I mean, you caught
Um,
that video that Jank made about him a little bit earlier, right?
yeah. Um, you know, nothing. Um, I mean, like I said, he's not great. But
Right, but
like
in
he's
a
better than he
Biden
could be.
administration, from what I gather, at least it's not a total. I guess in terms of picks, it could have been a lot worse for chief of staff, and it sounds like this guy is at least open to listening to the left of the party, which is good. I mean, the stuff is already kind of getting shot down in terms of what we were been talking about with Bernie as labor secretary, Warren as treasury secretary. I mean, some of those more loftier goals, but at least to have somebody that is in the room or in part of that the inner circle that is willing to go ahead and be open minded to some of the more progressive policies. I think that's a plus. And the other thing was under the Obama administration, he was on that task force, or he was heading the task force against Ebola. So that's probably
Peter Dow
why.
says,
Mhm.
um, being an outsider. So I went from being mentioned in Clinton's book, Ron Klain writing a blurb for my book, to blocked by Klain and out of Clinton world.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know what that means. Waleed Shahid said has moved in a more progressive direction and
Mhm.
voters expect bold action. Uh, yeah, I don't think it's great. I mean,
I think it's probably going to be one of those things that could have been worse. I mean, we'll see in terms of what actual policy goals are set out in the immediate after Joe Biden gets inaugurated and all that. I mean,
Marky sounds stoked. I've been very fortunate to know and work alongside my friend throughout our careers. An
mhm.
outstanding choice. Um,
But I mean, that's the thing. Like I felt more encouraged because you heard progressives saying that it was a pretty decent appointment. And across the board, seems it wasn't one of these things that you're gonna end up seeing like opposed, like if what do you call it, if Biden decides to go with someone like Mitt Romney or John Kasich into his cabinet.
yeah, I don't think he's going to.
But
Like,
mhm.
I don't think any of them are going to play ball, right? Like, I don't think he can get any of them to agree to not be psychotic, right? Like, to not be fucking demonic. Like,
Uh-huh.
they're just terrible. Like, they did you hear like just the shit that like Mitt Romney and what's his face, Kasich had been talking about, like in those interviews. It's like, like none of the stuff they want to do is popular or is necessary. They're just like dumb ideas that shouldn't be like, you should not be entertaining those kinds of ideas. Like, we obviously have to respond to what's going on. We can't just let the like
Hmm.
let the country just destroy itself. Like, you have to be able to, you know, like Mitt Romney saying we can't do, like, we want to keep using gas and we want to keep using fossil fuels and like make sure we do that. Like, that's our priority. It's just like psycho shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, they can't be have any access to, like the economic policy like that. Like, you saw what Trump and his shitheads did. They don't know how to handle this crisis situation. They don't know how to do. They don't know how to make the government spend money. Like, I think that's the bare competency I feel like the Democrats do have. This administration will have. Like, they'll be able to, like, pay the contractors on time and not screw up shit like that.